Okay, we'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Kimberly Blackburn,
Here.
Juanita Emery,
Present.
Byron Temple, Derek Westfall.
Here.
And Gary Howard.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
Any comments on the meetings from July 3rd? Motion to approve. That's from July 3rd.
Seconded.
All right, Kimberly Blackburn,
Yes.
Juanita Emery,
Yes.
Byron Temple.
Yes.
Derek Westfall.
Yes.
And Gary Howard. Pass 5-0.
Okay, anyone that would like to speak tonight on either side of the question, now's the time that we need to swear you in. And anybody online, is there anyone online?
We currently have nobody present.
All right, now it's time for anyone who wishes to speak for or against the petition tonight to stand and raise your right hand and take the oath of witness. Dave, can you stand? And you folks, please stand, and petitioner, your representatives, if you are going to speak tonight. And you don't plan to speak? Okay. All right, please raise your right hand. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. And just as general protocol, when you come and speak at the podium, please start by stating your name and address for the record.
Are there any reports or old business or anything? Okay, now let's start with case 25-V07 then.
Good evening to the board. We'd like to bring any remonstrators up before the staff report.
Just only as to the notice issue, I would put on the record your report as it relates just to the notice, status of notice. And once you've done that, then we can give any demonstrators the opportunity to raise any issues if they have any.
Sure. Just so everybody's aware, public notice was handled through the Clark Pleasant School Corporation. They did put notice in the Daily Journal within the time frame. They also mailed out certified mailings to more than 2 properties of each side. It was the advice of the staff that all the residential properties in the Chadlow subdivision be notified of this notice. The town staff did not receive any formal inquiries regarding the notice at this point. So with that said, I will begin the staff report.
Hold on a second, Billy. That said, is there anyone, particularly on the remonstrator side, those who may be opposed to this petition, who has any concerns or issues that they want to bring to our attention concerning notice only? All right. We can proceed.
Thank you. Okay, so I will dive into the staff report. The petitioner, Sam Arns, who is seated in the front row right there, has a request for case number 2025-B-07, a use variance to permit animal husbandry in R1 residential zone at 300 Main Street. The proposal, the petitioner is requesting a use variance in the R1 residential district, specifically for the utilization of animal husbandry relating to the raising of goats. Clark Pleasant Community School Corporation wants to use the existing property for educational programming to enhance our agricultural pathway. The school corporation wanted to prepare students for various career paths in agriculture. The subject property is located at 300 Main Street, which is the main campus, Whiteland, Indiana, 46184. This property is currently being utilized for the main campus of Whiteland Community High School. The proposed site would be located near the northeast corner of the campus. I've attached an exhibit to show the location, which we'll get into. Just a little bit of zoning review for you. 91.09 relates to the number of animals, which says A, the total number of animals permitted to be kept on any property shall be 3, excluding backyard chickens permitted under a backyard chickens permit issued under the Whiteland zoning code. B, any property zoned by chapter 156 of the Whiteland Municipal Code as agricultural district shall not be subject to the maximum number of animals set forth in Division A above. And between conversations with myself and Director of Administration, we believe that this specific ordinance more so relates to household animals such as cats and dogs, not necessarily agricultural animals, is kind of our interpretation of the ordinance. But I just wanted to include that just so you are all privy to it. And then 156.050 uses permitted, R1 single family residential district. No building or premises shall be used and no building shall be erected, reconstructed, or structurally altered, which is arranged, intended, or designed to be used for other than the following uses unless otherwise provided herein. There's a litany of uses. The one that the school currently operates under is the Division C in there, public school, elementary or high, and educational institutions having courses of study equivalent to those of public schools. The second page, which is Exhibit 1, shows what the petitioner provided the town staff as the overall area for this goat farm. They intend to utilize the old well house there and a little portion of it south of the pedestrian path, which is just east of the old bus garage, which I believe now is just utilized for maintenance and things of that nature for the school program, which, like I said, it is in the northeast corner of the main campus of the high school. So I will jump into the state standards. I will note on responses 4 and 5, the staff provided what we call an attachment A, detailed statements for this. The staff provided the school corporation with an outdated attachment A that didn't have these two specifically laid out. So their responses will be omitted from my staff report. If you guys would like to circle back and get their responses, you're more than happy to. Just wanted to make you privy to that. It wasn't that they didn't answer them. They didn't have the information when they submitted them to me. So I will go through the state standards. IC 36-7-4-918.5. A Board of Zoning Appeals shall approve or deny variances from the development standards, such as height, bulk, or area of the zoning ordinance. The board may impose reasonable conditions as part of the board's approval. A variance may be approved under this section only upon a determination in writing that for variance 1 to grant a use variance specifically for the utilization of animal husbandry relating to the raising of goats at Whiteland Community High School, that 1, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The petitioner's response: it has been carefully planned to meet all statutory and regulatory requirements set forth by local and state authorities. The school-based farm will incorporate best practices in animal husbandry, waste management, and site maintenance to ensure minimal environmental impacts and prevent any conditions that could pose a nuisance or health hazard to neighboring properties. The facility will be securely fenced and supervised by trained educational staff with student participation governed by established safety protocols. All activities will promote ethical treatment of animals and reflect age-appropriate, standards-based learning experiences. This school-based farm is consistent with the educational mission of the school and contributes to the broader public good by fostering career readiness, agricultural literacy, and civic responsibility. By aligning with community values and maintaining compliance with public health and safety standards, the school-based farm enhances rather than threatens the general welfare of the surrounding area. The town's response: the staff disagrees with the petitioner's statement. Based on the above answers, there's no definitive answer to mitigate concerns brought forward to my office from neighboring parcels that would be impacted. There is no outline as to what would happen after school hours and/or days, which would be Saturday and Sunday. Based on the information from remonstrators in the immediate area, the general welfare would be at risk, not only from unsightly views, smells, sounds of the areas, in addition to an increase in predatory sightings, coyotes, foxes, bobcats, etc., that would most certainly increase due to the presence of goats. Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The petitioner's response: the proposed school-based goat farm is designed to operate harmoniously within the environment. The school-based farm will be modest in scale, with strict controls in place to manage noise, odor, and visibility. The school-based farm will not introduce heavy traffic, commercial operations, or unsightly structures. Instead, it will serve as a unique educational resource that enriches the neighborhood and promotes student engagement in agricultural, science, and sustainability. All activities will be supervised by qualified staff and follow health, safety, and zoning regulations tailored to community settings. The town's response: the staff disagrees with the petitioner's statement. The use and value for immediate neighboring parcels would most certainly be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Property values would certainly fall due to the proximity of proposed goat farm in relation to residential parcels surrounding. While understanding, based on the proposal provided, goats are a low to no odor livestock option, there is no cited resource for this claim that has been presented to the staff at this time. Number three, the strict application of the terms of zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The petitioner's response: it would prohibit the school from utilizing a portion of its campus for an educational use that directly supports its curriculum and student development. The proposed school-based goat farm is modest in scale, educational in nature, and compatible with surrounding urban environment. The challenge is that the existing zoning does not account for educational agricultural uses within the school setting. Without the variance, the school is unable to provide meaningful hands-on learning experiences that are increasingly to college and career readiness in agricultural and environmental science. The area proposed for use is already part of the school grounds, poses no threat to public health, safety, and is uniquely suited for this purpose. The town's response: the staff disagrees with the petitioner's statement. The campus has ample amount of space on their campus to be able to house goats, which would not have an immediate and/or negative impact on any net residential parcels that border the proposed site. While the staff is in favor of the school being able to offer a unique experience for the agricultural department, based on the presentation that was provided with this application, 2024 through 2025 animal science enrollment was 102 students, and advanced animal science enrollment was 35 students. The staff is unaware if there are any crossovers in that number, but for argument's sakes, that would be a total of 137 students. There are 3 locations of green space currently on the main campus that are more than 500 feet from any residential zone parcels: south of the new tennis courts, south of the existing softball diamond, and southeast of the main entrance on the north side of Whiteland Road, which was previously the freshman baseball field, that are all suitable areas based on the proposed drawings to staff and included in this staff report. In addition, the school corporation owns over 106 acres, 90 plus acres is currently in agriculture. The remaining houses, the operation that houses the operations facility that is within 1.5 miles or 5-minute commute from the main campus. The town of Whiteland only allows for 3 animals on any parcel within the town of Whiteland jurisdiction. That was ordinance 9109. But again, the town staff, town's director of administration, we believe that that ordinance is privy to household animals, not agricultural animals. Number 4 and 5, again, there's no response from the petitioner. If you would like to get a response from them, you're more than welcome to ask them. But the number 4 will not increase the hazard from fire, flood, and other dangers to adjacent property. The staff does not see any increase in fire or flooding based on the proposal. With the responses from the staff and previous responses, there's still a multitude of other dangers that are posed to adjacent property owners, increased predators in the area, upkeep of the site during non-school hours and or days, and the quality of life for surrounding property owners. Number 5 will not increase the congestion in the public places. The town's response, there would be no congestion in public places due to this all happening on private property. Number 6 arises from some condition peculiar to the property involved, and such condition is not due to the general condition of the neighborhood. The petitioner's response, the property is zoned for institutional or educational uses, and current zoning regulations do not expressly permit limited or agricultural uses such as school-based goat farm. However, the school's mission includes hands-on project-based learning aligned with agricultural, environmental sciences, and sustainability, all of which require direct access to live animal care and farm management experiences. The property's layout includes a secure, underutilized section of land that is well suited for small-scale supervised animal husbandry without disrupting the surrounding neighborhood. This educational need, combined with the unique opportunity presented by the site's existing infrastructure and open space, creates a condition not common. Therefore, a land use variance is necessary to bridge the gap between the educational purpose of the site and the zoning language that does not currently anticipate agricultural instruction within a school setting. The town's response, the staff disagrees with the petitioner's statement. The only zoning district within the town of Whiteland that would allow this type of animal husbandry would be the agricultural district, with a plethora of options available outlined in the staff report. Utilizing this area for the sake of farm animals is self-inflicted. The staff's recommendation and proposed conditions to the variance to grant a use variance specifically for the utilization of animal husbandry relating to the raising of goats at Whiteland Community High School. The staff is providing an unfavorable recommendation based on the above findings of facts. Staff found no evidence of a practical difficulty warranting the non-conforming use within the residential district. If the board determines that a practical difficulty exists, staff recommends the following conditions. 1, the proposed site be relocated to a minimum of 500 feet from any residential district within the town of Whiteland's jurisdiction, or 2, the proposed use be placed on an off-campus location at 999 North Front Street, which is the Clark Pleasant Community School Corporation Operations Building. I've included 3 exhibits within my staff report. The first one was the second page of the staff report, which was the proposed site location. The second exhibit shows the zoning and location map to show the residential district for the Whiteland Community High School. And then the third exhibit that I have provided shows an aerial photography, and at which point I have outlined the 3 places in the staff report that I have talked about. The area south of the new tennis courts is approximately 536 feet from the south property line of Chadlow. The area to the southeast of the softball diamonds is 612 to the south property line. And then the area to the southeast of the main campus where the old freshman baseball field was, that shows 955 feet to basically the first house when Chadlow subdivision comes in. And then anything that would be south of this area along that, all of those parcels that line Whiteland Road are zone business, even though there are residential structures on that property with the area at the southeast. The first limits for the 500 feet for Spring Hill South would be met at that location as well. Before I take any questions, I think it would only be of due cause to allow the petitioner to come up and state their case. If you guys have any questions for me following my staff report or anything like that, I would like to give the petitioner an opportunity to speak and talk more. If you have questions specifically to me or relating to the staff report, I'm more than happy to answer those. If you guys get a chance.
Well, I should open the public hearing to allow them to speak. I think I need to do that.
But not quite yet. I have a couple comments that we may want to address. And I was just reviewing the staff report and the factors that are analyzed in the staff report. And Billy, you may be able to help me out here. As I understand it, this is seeking a use variance as opposed to a development standards variance.
Correct.
And in looking at the various criteria, and the state statute that's referenced, that is referencing the development standards criteria, and their statute, it's 918.4 that deals with the use factors. And there are two factors that aren't addressed in the report. I'll just read them relatively quickly here. One is that the strict application of the zoning ordinance will constitute an unnecessary hardship. That's a finding that's supposed to be made if you're to grant a use variance. And then secondly, or lastly, the variance is not to, I'm just going to try and read it from the actual statute. Approval of the variance does not interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan. Those are two additional factors that you are supposed to consider and find as you make your decision. The petitioner may or may not have been made aware of these factors. And so I just want to make sure that that's out there as an issue. I think it's fine to go ahead to move forward if the petitioner wants to move forward tonight, or we can continue it to further address these additional two factors. I'll leave that to Billy, board, petitioner to decide how you want to deal with those issues at this point.
The only thing that I would say, answer number 3, the strict application in terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties. It doesn't say unnecessary hardship. So I assume that suffices.
But we would want to make sure we have an understanding and when we have our ultimate findings of fact made on this case, we should use the statutory language.
And as far as the comprehensive plan that we have presented, this area remains unchanged. This area is always to be an educational area. That doesn't change within our new comprehensive plan for our 10-year outlook for the town. The zoning side of everything all remains the same.
Okay, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing then. Would the petitioner like to speak, or was there something to be shown? Was there a video or something?
Yeah, so they have a presentation that they would like to be introduced. So screen share.
So is anyone going to walk through this? Or
Hello, my name is Hannah Knight, and I am one of the agricultural science teachers and FFA advisors at Whiteland High School. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about our proposal, our goat operation that we are wanting to start here in high school for the animal science program. So a little bit of background information. So our animal science enrollment is one of the biggest enrollments that we have within our agriculture program. So these are last year's numbers. So we had 102 students enrolled in our regular animal science course, our beginning course. And then we also had an additional 35 students in our advanced animal science course. So both these courses are dual credit with Ivy Tech, which allows students to earn college credit. So those state Ivy Tech standards require students to learn and practice some hands-on animal husbandry skills. So currently we have a few rabbits in our classroom to practice these. However, rabbits are made up a little bit differently than livestock. They have different physiology, they have different care needs, and we're not really producing them for an actual byproduct or purpose. So therefore, we would like students to kind of have that experience in the livestock side of the industry that they're not currently getting. So our vision is a goat farm maintained and managed by the Animal Science Program, creating opportunities for students to gain those husbandry skills and experiences, as well as a little business management skills as well. So some of the other agriculture programs in the county have livestock house on their school grounds. So Indian Creek has their Creek Cattle Company. Franklin has animals at their actual campus in their ag program. So we're currently actually the only agriculture program in the county that doesn't have that experience within our high school. So we chose goats for a couple different reasons. So goats' size is better equipped for the safety of students. They're obviously a smaller animal. They're not as hazardous as a student being around a cow or a larger type of livestock. Their space requirements are very minimal and more manageable. They provide minimal damage to the landscape or the earth as opposed to a larger animal. So we're not going to have a lot of landscape damage. Goats are also a low to no odor livestock option. So I have a lot of experience in the animal science and the goat industry, and I can tell you for a fact that you're not going to have any real smells associated with goats, especially because we're going to have castrated animals, so they're not going to be giving off those pheromones that you might get with an intact male or female. And also goats have a faster turnaround time. So goats can be raised to market weight in about 6 to 8 months. So we're going to be able to actually get 2 rounds of animals throughout a school year, through our whole life and growth cycle, and then to market to be able to process them. And also goats are unique. So we would be the only school corporation in the area with a goat farm. So we obviously want to make Whiteland, unique and noteworthy. And this is one way that we can do that. So some opportunities for students within the goat industry. Currently, the U.S. does not produce enough goat meat to satisfy the demand for goat meat in the U.S. So goat has a really high market demand. So by raising that, our students would have a product that is really marketable. Students would learn the farm-to-table process throughout this experience. And meat produced could be served in the cafeteria, or they could also sell it via a student marketplace to put that money back into the program. The herd that we're proposing is about 5 to 8 meat goats. We're going to start out with 5 and then see how that goes over a year or so, and then we would go maximum of 8. We would raise the wethers, which is a castrated male, up to about 80 to 90 pounds, which is market weight, and then we would send them to market at the end of each semester. And we would take that meat product back and either serve it in the cafeteria, sell it, or a combination of the two. Students would be responsible for the daily care of the animals, deworming, health and vaccinations, hoof trimming, and marketing of that final meat product. So our vision is eventually, after students get through their animal science pathway, they will end their ag experience with a capstone course. So that's the agribusiness capstone. And our goal would be that those students in that agribusiness capstone would kind of manage the goat farm. They would promote the product, make sure the animals were being taken care of, market the final product, all of those steps. Kind of be a full circle process. Locations. So we are proposing the animals be housed on a portion of the school grounds for a few reasons. First, time restrictions. So the typical class length at the high school is currently 46 minutes. So housing animals off campus would require daily travel time to care for them, and that would take away a lot of student academic time. So having them here on campus is going to allow us to take care of them more efficiently and have more access to them for the students. Animal safety. So for this to be successful, we need to heavily monitor the animals, check on them daily, make sure they're okay. And off-campus location is going to be difficult for the students to do that. Transportation concerns, obviously. So our classes are 25 plus students. So how would we transport them back and forth to an off-campus location? If a student's late or tardy and they miss the bus, they get left behind. Just kind of creates some obstacles travel-wise if they're not on campus. And then emergency situations. So when we take a class off campus, we obviously are vulnerable to some emergency situations, not having administration present, school nurses, our resource officers, things like that. So we really would need them to be on campus so we can have access to all of those things. And that's all I have for you tonight. So some members of our school administration are here to answer any of your questions. Thank you so much for your consideration. And we hope that you will allow our students to be a part of this exciting opportunity. Thank you.
Any further comment?
And would you start please by, and maybe it was clear at the beginning, who was it that was speaking?
Hannah Knight.
Hannah Knight, thank you.
She's the teacher. One of the teachers, I would say.
Sam Arns, 300 Main Street.
Cassandra Ship, 300 Main Street. Tonight, we're coming to you to get approval for our students to have an advanced hands-on program. As you know, our current FFA program is very strong and nationally recognized. But the one piece that is missing is the hands-on experience in the capstone. As our state moves to our students have more career hands-on experience before they leave, we provide everything but this last piece of capstone. We have pathways, and you have seen that with the state of Indiana with their new high school requirements and their pathways and careers, That has always been in existence, but a lot of schools struggle to give kids that hands-on experience at the end so they can make a better decision about what do they want to do. The principal of the high school did an entrance survey. And to our surprise, even though business is a big pathway in that high school, a lot of kids said they want to be veterinarians and they wanted to have that experience working with animals. And so to prepare students, if that is their career choice, is that starting them early with that experience. A lot of the students do participate in a lot of the FFA activities, fairs, but they never get to experience that as part of their high school experience. As you also heard in the presentation, it's a business side. It's opening up our students to experience what is the business side of if you are a farmer. It's not just about raising that animal, but it's also maintaining the financial budget. So this also adds the students that maybe I want to be on the business side to help a farm continue to grow and maintain in my community, that they're getting that experience in a smaller environment. So I understand the concerns about having an animal, small animal. I would say no smell, but it might have some smell, so we will acknowledge that. But I don't want the students to miss out on those hand-on experiences, that they don't have to wait till college or it always has to be outside. They can be with a teacher, a sponsor, and experience it along the way. So when they determine what do I want to do after high school, how do I want to give back to my community if I want to remain here, then they have those experiences. We know that students, I want to say nursing. There's a lot of students say I want to be a nurse, but when they get to see the blood and everything else, they're like, this is not what I want to do. And so we want to give those students that hands-on experience earlier to make that determination, and they're hungry for it. Like I said, we have a great FFA program. It is nationally ranked. We've had national officers, but this is a piece that we're just missing to give those kids more of that experience.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the FFA is involved in.
Yes. So Mrs. Knight is one of the FFA teachers. And so I know from talking to her, it was a desire and dream as we built our FFA program is very strong to eventually get to the point that we have live animals to give our students experience. Yes, you heard her say something about rabbits, but that's not the same. It's not the same, especially if these students are coming from farming families and they really want to get that experience, or kids that have friends and they just don't have that day in, day out experience, and understanding the different occupations within farming. And this will help our students determine what career path. If I want to be the vet that goes and helps with animals that are on a farm, if I want to do the business side, or if I want to actually raise and, like you heard, raise the animals to have them produced and sell them to the market. So it also shows how we can have our own food, we can sell our own food, give it back to community. And so yes to your answer.
I know that Indian Creek and Franklin do have basically many farms, but they have a variety of animals on them. Don't you think that would be better than just having goats? You think goats?
Well, we're going to start small.
That's what I'm more, see, that's the point I'm getting ready to make.
Be realistic. I mean, if it's just goats we have, it's just goats we have. The key is that the students have a hands-on experience with what is manageable and appropriate for our community.
Is the location that you're looking to have it at based upon the pump house being there?
It's based on an existing facility that's already there, with very little change modifications, it could house that safely in an area that would be ideal, for the program.
So the change that they proposed about keeping it 500 feet away from residential areas, is that something that
Currently where that pump house sits, or where that building that we'd like to utilize it does not.
Yeah, but he had the 3 other locations that he had pointed out that would be 500 feet away from any residential zoned homes. Are you guys opposed to that being?
Those are areas that we could look at and touch base on. I know the one area just south of the tennis courts is utilized by lacrosse. Also, it's a geothermal field for our north building that sits there. Area with construction, our phase 5 construction, that athletic piece up there is going to get modified pretty heavily. So that area there, the southeast corner of the softball fields, is probably not going to look like that here in a couple of years. And then the area, I think was mentioned where the old JV field was off of Whiteland Road. I mean, that would be right up against Main Street. I don't know if that would be, something visually that we would want to.
Billy, what is the bus garage zoned? Is it agricultural?
So no, technically right now, the bus garage area at 999 Front Street is zoned industrial. But correct me if I'm wrong, can they make a stipulation for the use that they're requesting here be applied at the industrial district?
Well, that would, in my view, require
A separate request and proposal at that time, but it is zoned industrial at this time.
The land around it's zoned agricultural, I think, at the present time.
Yeah, and that's zoned in the county agricultural.
Okay.
But the totality of all of theirs, everything along Front Street is all zoned industrial.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay. Well, so any more questions?
I have one. Like when the animals are going to be, the goats are going to be taken care of, like during the day by the students, what happens on weekends with them being taken care of, and also like the 2 weeks breaks and summer and all that stuff?
So that would be the responsibility of the students in the class along with the 2 teachers. So they would have to sketch out a plan of who's covering what breaks and students coming out there to make sure everything is okay. Of course, learning when weather is bad or we have a bad rainstorm or something, that is a responsibility. You have to go check on your animals. So all of those things will be laid out. Students will have to agree upon that, because when you're in a capstone class, it's other requirements that you have to meet for it to count for courses and for you to get college credit for that.
And it would also, if I could add, I mean, this is during the school year, so summertime was not part of the discussion.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
It would
So,
just be through the school, the school session.
correct. So it's the cycle of the animals. And so if we know that that cycle is going to be close or come up, or when we know the kids will be leaving for the summer, then we will not have animals. So the goal is to stay within those weeks of time.
Questions? Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for the proposal? Is there anyone who would like to speak against the proposal? Name and address, please.
And just so that everyone understands, over 20 minutes.
My name's David Hawkins. I live at 329 Christina Drive. This so-called building used to be the auxiliary water plant for New Island. And the floor in it itself, there's no way you could put animals or anything in it without tearing the floor completely out and redoing it. There's holes in the floor where pumps set. There's risers in the floor where also pumps and different things set. And that property or that building is 87 feet off of my property line. So the goats are going to be right in my backyard. And I don't want the smell. I don't want the noise. My grandson, one of my grandsons and his wife raise goats. And they get complaints. They live in the country. They get complaints from neighbors a quarter mile away because of the noise that they make. They screech. They make all kinds of different noises. And their closest neighbor is right at a quarter mile from them. And it's just, they get the complaints. They've had the police called in because the goats are making too much noise. And it's just, it's ridiculous. It's going to cause our home values to go down. And being right outside my back door, my dogs are going to go crazy. And so, and probably 80% of the people that live right there in that area have pets, dogs mainly. And the smell is gonna drive them crazy. The noise is gonna drive them crazy. My yard's fenced in. I keep my dogs in the fence, but they can still see it. And that's something different. So they're gonna bark like crazy. I'm not gonna pay the fines. Is the school gonna pay the fines for that? Because the dogs are barking all the time? Because the goat's sitting within 87 feet of my yard? And, you know, who's gonna take care of when in the wintertime? Yeah, you've got kids that say, yeah, we're gonna do it. Those kids are gonna lose interest, just like any other kid, like I did, like you did, or anybody else. You're gonna lose interest to a degree. And then what's gonna happen with the goats? Who's gonna clean them up on the weekends? Who's gonna take care of the disposal of the waste on the weekends? Who's gonna take care of, how often is the waste gonna be taken out? Once a month or once a week or whatever it is. And the temperatures that we're having now, you're still gonna have a smell. And the more you put in a dumpster or whatever that's back there, the smell's gonna increase and get even worse. I don't want it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Name, please.
My name is Joyce Canar, and
Yes.
we live at 339 Christina Drive. We're David's neighbor, right next door. And our house is just a few yards, as he said, from where the proposed goats will be. We were horrified to learn of this proposal, and I am begging you not to do this. We moved here in 1995 and have been very happy living in this neighborhood. Our daughter attended Whiteland Elementary and graduated from Whiteland High School. For 30 years, we have enjoyed our beautiful and quiet neighborhood. But if these goats are put right behind our house, it will be an absolute nightmare for us and our neighbors. It will be loud, the smell will be unbearable, and I'm sure that they will, little by little, add other animals over time. We won't be able to enjoy our backyard. Also, our property values will just tank. We have worked very hard for 30 years to have a nice home and yard. This would be absolutely devastating to us. We're not against the program, but just where it's going to be located. Once again, I'm begging you not to let this happen. Thank you for letting me speak.
Anyone else would like to speak? Okay, I'll close the public hearing.
Hold on, the petitioner gets a rebuttal.
Oh, okay. Petitioner, you want to rebut anything that's been said?
5 minutes if you want to present anything further.
No. I'll close the public hearing then. I'll express my feelings, and I wish everyone else would express theirs too. You don't have to agree with me, but I think there is a big need for what you're talking about. I see the need. I think it needs to be more extensive than just a goat area, though. I think there's other places in the area where you could go, and I don't think it would be a huge deal to transport the students via bus to a outside location for those purposes. We're an urban area, basically. I mean, we're a small town, but we're also in an urban area. And, you know, Franklin their high school is out in the middle of the fields, and so is Indian Creek. I don't know what Center Grove and Greenwood do. I haven't investigated that or don't know anything about that, but my guess is that they don't have anything on campus that has to do with animals. So my feeling is that and if you decide to go to the bus garage, I think we need, as Stephen said, we need a new proposal for that. So that's my opinion on it. Anybody else like to speak?
Same feelings. Yeah, I think the location that's proposed is absolutely not feasible. My opinion.
I would certainly be in favor of myself of anything, even in a residential area that would be not close to the houses that was zoned. I mean, zoned residential, it isn't close to houses. I know eventually, even at the bus garage, our master plan calls for R1 housing there, but I think that's way off in the future. And so I would not be opposed to it being there. And I think it's greatly needed. I think we need that. So I think the conditions that were set here, possible conditions, I think we need just to leave that alone and just if we want to just leave the favorable or unfavorable by itself. Does anyone disagree with that?
Before we move too much further towards a final decision, one of the factors that's required on the statute is the factor of the approval will not interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan. Billy, can you speak to that issue? What does the comprehensive plan call for this property?
Yeah, so like I said, our 10-year outlook, based off of the history of the high school, remains that this be an educational institutional district. I mean, it would still remain, I think when we had our future land use map there, we don't have it out there for residential, which is what it's currently zoned at. We have it for educational and institutional learnings. That does not remain unchanged. We wouldn't have any issue with that as far as the comprehensive plan goes.
Okay. So the only, we're not, no problem with the comprehensive plan as far as putting that there. It would be a problem with the hardship that would pose on the residents around the facility, basically.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if were to choose to deny the petition, I would want to identify the particular factors that you don't think are met as part of denying the petition, so that we can clearly make a record as to what the basis of your decision was. So you might want to kind of go through the staff report in that respect.
Okay. I'll make a proposal that we deny the proposition petition based on the fact that the residents would be harmed by the proximity to their homes. And the fact that, as far as I'm concerned, that it's not extensive enough. It's a small little area. I don't think it would help the students really. It's a needed thing, but I don't think it would help the students at all. So I make a
I would like to elaborate on that. So that would seem to tie into factor number one, which requires that the approval not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. I think what you're pointing to in particular is the general welfare of the parts of the community that are immediately near this location, residential properties that are nearby. I'm just going to give it a moment. I'm going to see if there are any others that relate. I think it also relates to factor number two, which is the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. It sounds like you don't think that factor is being satisfied in this, and that
correct.
It would be substantially adversely affected. All right. Number three, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance must resolve in order to approve it in practical difficulties, and as we talked about earlier, and constitute an unnecessary hardship in the use of the property.
I don't believe that's true.
And presumably that's review on this because they were able to use all of their property as they have currently for educational purposes. It's just this would be a one educational component that they can't use, but they can use it for a myriad of other educational purposes, right?
Plus the fact that there's some good alternatives to what they want to do.
Okay. And number 4, will not increase the hazard from fire, flood, or other dangers to adjacent property.
That's
Maybe not as
impact.
not as directly an issue. Number 5, will not increase the congestion in the public places. Doesn't sound like that's really what you're getting at. And 6, arises from some condition peculiar to the property involved, and such condition is not due to the general condition of the neighborhood. There's a lot of property there. They're already using it for educational purposes. It sounds like they haven't satisfied you that there is something peculiar about this property that requires this.
Correct.
So those would be your identification of the failures and the factors.
Correct.
Okay.
I second it.
And just for the record, to be clear, the motion is to deny the petition based on the failure of the factors that we just went through.
That's correct. And based on the findings of facts that were delivered to us.
Well, and tell you what, let's keep that one separate, okay? We'll make that a separate motion because the written staff report has both the school side and the town department side. And so I think it'd be better to save that as a separate motion.
Do we need to have the separate motion? Or?
You will. Well, it'll just keep things cleaner,
Okay.
in my view.
Okay.
So to clarify, this one is just based off of the factors that we just went through.
Correct.
So vote on that.
All right. Kimberly Blackburn,
No,
Juanita
Hold on
M.
a second, hold on a second.
No means that you want that.
oh, I mean,
This is to deny.
You are voting right now as to whether you agree with the motion that was made, which was to deny the petition.
I agree with the motion that's made.
Juanita Emery,
I agree with the motion.
Byron Temple,
I agree with the motion.
Derek Westfall,
Yes.
Gary Howard.
Yes.
All right, pass 5-0.
Okay, now we should go the next step. By statute, as you know, when you make a decision, you have to make written findings of fact that are consistent with your decision. And ordinarily, we would adopt this type of case, the staff report, if the staff report is consistent with what your determination is. It is consistent, with the exception it includes responses of the petitioner in this case. And I would suggest that what you could do is adopt a motion or make a motion to adopt the staff report as your written findings of fact with the exclusion of petitioner's responses to items 1 through 6, which are the factors that are required. And with the addition to number 3, what I read to you earlier, which was that the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties and constitute an unnecessary hardship in the use of the property. That would be the introduction to that, and that would be one of the items that you would determine is not satisfied, as is explained further in the town staff report. And then finally, that an additional factor, number 7, concerning the comprehensive plan, it be included or added to it with a statement that the town finds that factor not, how do we say that? Well, you could just say that town finds or BZA finds that the approval would not interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan, which is what we discussed earlier.
And denials based on questions 1 and 2, basically. Is that correct?
Certainly 1, certainly 2.
6.
6, 1, 2, and 6.
Number 3 was also part of it. Number 1, 2, 3, and 6 are the factors that were not satisfied. Wanted to make a so moved motion.
I'll make it.
Probably be the simplest thing to do.
So move motion.
Second.
All right, Kimberly Blackburn,
Agree.
Juanita Emery,
Agree.
Byron Temple,
Yes.
Derek Westfall,
Yes.
Gary Howard. Pass 5-0.
Bearing with me through that.
A little different than what I usually.
Yeah, that's different than driveway extension.
Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. I do hope that we have some, that you do get what you need to get. And come back with us if you need to have a different proposal, you come back and we'd certainly like to take a look at it. I think it's necessary to have it, whether it's off campus or what. Thank you, everybody. And is that all we have?
Yes, sir. So case number 2025 Z-08 is continued due to lack of public notice to the public, both in the Daily Journal and to the surrounding properties that require notice to property in each direction.
Okay.
So they did not suffice that. So I have continued that case to the September meeting.
We put that date on our calendar then for next month.
That's right.
Okay.
And then I would say, I would recommend that you adopt a motion, make a motion and approve it to formally continue it to next month's meeting, which
Oh,
is
okay.
7 o'clock on Thursday. What is the date?
It's
Second, I believe it's the 4th.
can we just say the September meeting?
We can, but I think we can find it. I'm
September.
pulling it up right now. The 4th,
4th.
7 o'clock on September 4th.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we continue case 2025 V08 to the 4th of September, next meeting.
Second.
All right.
May I have a vote on that, I guess?
Yeah. Kimberly Blackburn,
Yes.
Juanita Emery,
Yes.
Byron Temple,
Yes.
Derek Westfall.
Yes.
And Gary Howard.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Okay, I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned.
Pass around the minutes, but
I don't think they have any clue.
these,
Grandson sleeping because of goats.